Hi everyone, we are live. Yay! So I'm gonna give some time for everybody to join us, and today we will have kind of like, I don't know if you remember, but I did this series called Tuned In, which is pretty much a conversations with people that they're related to singing, but pretty much talking about everything around singing and about, from the nutrition point of view and from, let's say, psychology or from fitness or from any angle, how it connects to the voice and how we can empower our voice and get to better results that way. So today we're going to continue the conversation with one of my, I don't even know how to start to introduce her, and I don't like to introduce people. I like them to introduce themselves. So I'm going to wait for her to go ahead and request to join us. So she's almost ready. So Tamar, just request to join. It's in the bottom. There you go. And we're going to start right now. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay.
Well,
Yay!
I'm just happy to be FaceTiming you. You're so busy, and
I was about to
I'll be
say,
live just to be with you.
if if since we don't have time, let's have a conversation in front of the whole world.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah, sure, for sure.
So awesome. So for those who don't know Tamar, I'm gonna just kind of introduce you from my point of view, but I would love for you to introduce yourself. But Tamar, and I was saying in the stories, I'm gonna say it again. I wanted to do some sort of live during this international month, Women's Month, Women's Day, and one of the biggest, inspirations for me. And when I think of a woman that's been through a lot and is such a strong force for her family, for whatever she does, and all the kind of journey you've been through, you came to my mind, of course, and I wanted everybody to hear your amazing story. And right now you're in Costa Rica, and we're going to talk about that. But just to introduce this amazing woman to all of you. And yes, go ahead and introduce yourself. And for those who don't know you.
Okay, I'm Tamar. I'm not sure even where I'm looking. Am I looking here? Am I looking here? I'm looking.
You can look to whatever you feel comfortable. Don't worry about it.
Or maybe not, but yeah, I'm not. You're the expert. And how I got to know Natalia and how this connection came about is, through my journey that has started kind of, I would say, our journey starts as we were born, but my conscious journey started more than 10 years ago now. And through that, there's been a lot of evolution, and part of it was at some point discovering the voice. And, so that's really how I came to know Natalia, through really kind of searching for the right person to take me on that journey.
And it's funny, a fun fact for people that don't know, I was actually a music director in a day school in Brooklyn. I was teaching your kids.
Yeah.
And it was completely, I remember that day that I met you, I never thought that this kind of event will change so much, and whatever it's going to lead to what it is now. It's pretty incredible.
Impactful and on so many levels. And, I was looking for somebody, and I just started before you. I had a teacher, and it was just not taking me there. And I realized I needed somebody. At that point, I just thought, I need somebody who has classical training. And and I came and I asked you, and you said yes, and we started. And and I kind of feel like, wow, that was a new chapter even in my journey. But really, introduce myself.
Where to start? But let's start with the end. What do you currently do? Um,
Well, I mean, besides being, a human here or a spirit having a human experience and trying to master that or kind of like thrive through it, like everybody,
right.
um, I, I've had a lot of how do you say reincarnations, but really right now and kind of like where it's all taken me is to after really a long journey and a deep journey that still continues.
Of
It still
course.
continues, but reaching a point of really starting to share my voice more, and that really is in the form of expression, of sound meditation. Some people call it sound healing. I'll refrain of using, sound healing as much. I think it just kind of, people think somebody else comes to heal them, so we don't want
Oh,
that.
that's true.
We're empowered to understand that really everything resides in them. So, sound healing, I do sound meditations and really hold sound experiences, and that's involving the use of touch, of energetic touch, of Reiki, my voice, which is the biggest surprise. I write. I write music. I compose music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, 3 weeks, what is it, like years ago, like, what? It would be like, what are you talking about?
Crazy.
Never happened. That's just crazy. That's really crazy and just comes to show you, and for me, that whole process. And, and really, it's amazing how exploring the voice has been such a crucial part. It was kind of like, okay, it was like the next push to really kind of fine tune everything and get into that place with yourself to really start sharing more and more of yourself. And again, it's a
There you
process
go.
for me. It's just really where I'm feeling, okay, it's time. Through that, also through this journey, I somehow became, somebody who veganizes things because I'm plant-based, and I became plant-based 10 years ago through.
So, can you tell us a little bit about 10 years ago when you said you started your awakening type of process? I mean, everybody has that moment when everything shifted. I know for myself, it's been like 4 years ago with a very traumatic experience that I had. And I mean, if you feel called to share, what was that event and what did you do to start that journey?
Well, it's interesting. There was kind of an event, which is a bit obscure to some and may seem a little bit, but before that, preceded months before that already, of a certain awakening. Um, I was in the kind of more religious lifestyle back then, and really coming out of that was I think like the first seed for me, to really, for me, it was just realizing that, and I didn't grow up religious. And choice, or in a way, right? Um, Really to realize for me that I have, and we're talking about voice, I've lost my voice. I don't.
Mm. And
Um,
it's interesting for those who don't understand. I mean, Tamar is she used to be a religious Orthodox Jewish.
for five,
So in that whole tradition, the woman's I would say role. It's not what we think. They respect a lot the woman, but there is a law that says women cannot share their voice in front of men, so they cannot sing publicly,
yes.
and it's considered to be not a sin, but there's no
So,
even
yeah, it's a Judaic law, right? So it's halacha, they call it. And yes,
right.
it also how you'll dress. And and even beyond that, it was really feeling like, for me, it was so much then became around that. So much became around what you wear, that this is not showing, that this is, there's so much in your
So
mind,
many rules,
not making a mistake, that
right?
funny, like, and you can understand maybe the idea behind it. And in today's kind of society, and you see, with whatever, even teenagers, you're like, oh my God, I wish you were just like, I'm afraid, but at the same
Right.
sides to everything. Nothing is really black or white, but But really what my experience was that I felt the most sexualized. Because every time I walked out of the house, that's what I would be thinking, that I will not, so
Yes.
as opposed to when I was, kind of wearing shorts and whatever. I mean, I didn't grow up religious. I grew up a dancer. I never had really a problem with my body. I was really,
Free. Yeah.
open with it. And then suddenly it became this thing that you start to clamp. And
Yeah.
more so from that, I feel there was starting to have a disconnect from anything that is not aligned with that truth, that is aligned with that philosophy. And I think the most tragic of all, that really affected, I think, a lot and really resonated, was the disconnect from nature. The disconnect from nature. It was like a period of years that you would just like not feel, and also living in New York City, feel the grass under your feet, or really just kind of have that certain freedom. And I found, and again, that is my experience. Some people have different experiences. But for me, very, it was an extreme. It was an extreme to my life before. And I learned that, yes, I'm kind of that person that would, would start journeys in an extreme way. And that is part of my own journey, and part of my learning and growth is to just breathe a little bit before. But yeah, the disconnect from nature, even the idea of animals for me, and I loved animals, but then there was like the kosher animal, not kosher animal. Like we don't have to get into it, but it was really a disconnect.
Yeah.
Big disconnect.
It's a disconnect from everything that, is freedom, right? Everything that is expressive, anything that comes from you. If it doesn't serve God or serve a certain law or serve a certain purpose, there's no reason for it to even exist.
Not aligned with a community, because every community would also have its own kind of, have its own
rules,
what's accepted and what's not accepted. And it's, it was very confining. And I think that, that moment when I realized that I lost myself under the layers of clothes, is when I started to literally peel off slowly, because it's hard, with judgment, with community, with your spouse, right? Like,
of course, your family.
Why are you changing on me all of a sudden? What's going on? Oh, so it's a lot.
It is. It's not just. It's not just the clothes. That's just. But it's that also dealing with people's looks and reactions, and how you still justify the fact that you're still a believer of God without all those costumes and without those customs. And I believe you believe in God more now, more than ever. Your connection with God, it got even deeper than all that. So it just comes to show that all these external things don't mean anything.
It's just a lot more direct today, and it involves less fear. So it just involves less fear. It involves, and it's just more direct. And I think that's where also, I think, and what you do in your practice, and why we connect so much, right? You're a vocal coach, but you're like the holistic vocal coach. Where else would I be if not in the hands of the most amazing holistic vocal coach ever?
But it's interesting. For me, myself, too, I have to say that where we came from, it's very interesting, because I came from, as you said, my religion was classical music, right? When I came here, there was a specific rules that I had to follow, specific guidelines, I had specific pronunciation, all these rules. And I remember I was just losing my voice physically, because I just didn't want to sing. My body started rejecting, right? And it comes through illnesses. Sometimes we have reflux, or we feel some sort of disease, or it just physically, your voice is shutting down. Your voice, you have to understand your voice, right? It's a way, it's such a, when you think about it, it's so incredible, because it's connecting everything. It's connecting your psyche, it's connecting your emotional state, your physical state. Oh, we are losing Tamaros. But I'm gonna keep talking. Hopefully she can join us. So the voice is so interesting because it's really connecting everything. And whenever something is wrong, right? Something doesn't feel aligned or feel stuck, it's going to show through your voice. It's just going to show through your voice. And it happens to me and colleagues of mine and students of mine. So it's not always the approach of technique that is going to really help the situation. A lot of times you have to go deeper. And that's what we did with Tamar. And hopefully she's going to come back and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But if you have any questions, by the way, for those who are joining us, thank you so much. If you have questions, leave them. That's what we here. We love to connect with all of you. And I know that also Instagram has some new feature that you can add more people. So that would be great to have more people in that live. But we're going to go deeper with Tamar. Hopefully she's going to get back to us. Get back to us, Tamari. You know, she's right now in Costa Rica. She's already been there for 2 months. So, you know, the connection and the internet is a little bit different. But it's beautiful. She just pretty much left everything and went to Costa Rica. And I'm so proud of her. And it was always her dream to kind of go there and kind of connect to nature, as she said, and just be in that freedom and in community, very close community. And I'm so happy for her. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So we're going to wait for a little bit. Again, if you have any questions, there you go. She's back. There you go. Hello.
Yay!
I was just explaining to people she's in Costa Rica right now, so we're dealing with a different type of internet, so it's all good.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, wait, maybe I need a different Wi-Fi. What's about? Yeah, so
you need a different, you gotta hold the antenna in your. Absolutely. But I'm just going to continue where we left off, where I was saying that our voice is our vessel. It's connecting all our mental, emotional, physical state. And if something is wrong with your body, it's going to be reflected through your voice, because your voice is a frequency.
100%.
And the frequency, it can't lie. It's energy, right? It's just there. So a lot of times people don't understand that the technical approach, like shoving pills or just doing something technical or just taking petting it from the external point of view, it just doesn't help. It doesn't really goes deep to the root of the problem. So I really relate to what you said about those rules and the religious, and that's exactly where I came from, and that's how I teach. And you want to talk a little bit more about, since that 10-year, what was kind of like the things that you continue doing with, like, let's say for your health or your nutrition and all the things you kind of discovered?
Yeah, so, so that was kind of like, so that started sometime in the year, and then I'm not going to go in deeply into that story. I'm just going to leave slivers of it.
Yeah.
Of just me. But I realized today how really, truly, blessed and protected I am. Because there was just this guardian angel in a human form that's, guided and supported by spirits and entities from highest dimensions. And, it's interesting, for years I didn't feel good. I was really, from when I came to New York, and, nothing, everything's okay. I literally, I even forget, but I remember that I went to the doctor because I literally had a lump in my throat. And, they check on and everything's okay. And you're like, what is happening? And like and you're so young and the hair is falling out and imbalance, but everything's okay. You can check for your thyroids and everything's always okay.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like feeling
not okay.
Yeah. And at that point, with 2 little kids, and you're just feeling you're kind of feeling old, right? Old in age, old in energy, old in vitality. And, then came this angel into my life, um, and somehow pinpointed and literally directed and pinpointed you know, to the coagulation of toxins in my body in the form of a lump in my breast. And somehow it's like, when you really like these moments, I feel like they were so pivotal in life. And I think that was one of my pivotal moment,
Yeah.
was trusting. I don't know why. I don't know what made me. I just feel like my soul knew. And I didn't even, and in a way it was scary, but it was also a relief, because I'm like, okay, now I can do something.
Exactly.
Whether it's this one or this one, I'm not even like, because people are so, there's, kind of the world is so involved in these words, right? And they have a word for every disease or for every misalignment, but there are not million diseases.
They're all the same.
All the same. It's
yeah.
all source, and they're all a gift trying to wake you up. They're all your body talking. They're all your body, trying to kind of like, bring these toxins together, somehow get them out of their body, whether it's, whether are lumps or tumors or diabetes or heart disease or skin conditions or eczema or, anything, really anything. And somehow I trusted, and, and I went, and I kind of, and it made sense to me. It started to all make sense to me. I don't know what ship fell, but something fell. And that was really the beginning of my, diving deep into the holistic exploration and the exploration of self and the exploration of the body. And I was directed really to go on a plant-based, vegan juicing. I'm like, what is a green juice? I don't know what.
So tell me about that. Like, all I know you is like you're the queen of amazing juices and all these vegan recipes. And I have to tell you, like going for a holiday dinner at Tamar's house, it's oh my God, you don't even feel like there's a need for anything, meat or anything like that. It's just so, abundantly and amazing. And I wonder, like, how was it for you at the beginning to really make the shift? Was it like one time? Was it gradual or?
For me, it was one time. The moment
Wow.
I intend to live. No, and I intend to live good. I'm done. Okay, I said that, but then like, there was a lot of times I had to say it again. But
Yeah.
but that was like that first kind of anchoring. And I was just like, I was like this. And it's funny how, when you're ready and when you're really aligned, just the universe opens up and everything comes to help you. Because I mean, like, I don't know what green juice. What do you mean vegan? I mean, I love chocolate. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no. And I remember, I used to work in Brooklyn, and there was, there was a street I would always go on, and, and I was also like in that area all the time. And for some reason, I wasn't even working back then, right? I was, I was a full-time mom. I was probably just like maybe weeks before going down that street, never noticed. And for some reason, I'm going down that same street and I'm looking and I see this place and I go in and it's a vegan, organic, gluten-free place. I'm like, with mostly raw foods, live.
Wow.
They do juice cleanses. And I'm like, oh my God. So, because I have no clue what to do. I don't know. I'm like, I never loved cooking. I was never like that person who, really a keeper, how to make an egg, my husband. And I was just like, just making what I needed to make, but it was never something that I really kind of was drawn to.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That place, I lived there for a month. And again, when you start to, so many things happen within that year because I felt that when you start to really align, when you start to really go into deep exploration of yourself, and you're really in the right direction, things open up. Because it wasn't like we were affluent. We were, we both of us kind of like, really started from nothing, from scratch. And, but kind of through that process, and when I started taking care of myself, somehow everything opened up. Somehow, it was like, oh, this is expensive, right? It's really expensive. It's expensive to eat organic and vegan and raw in New York, especially when you're not even cooking it yourself. Forget about it. That's like dropping money. And where's it going to come from? Where's the money to the holistic doctor is going to come from, right? So you're realizing slowly, it's like when you're putting, money is energy. It comes, it goes, it comes,
yes.
It comes and it goes. It has to go out. It has to go out, right? Just like, us purging, just like you, like having to go to the bathroom to bring more food in, like it has to go out, like everything.
True.
Moving. It's moving. And we're trying to hold on to it so much, or we're so afraid, or growing up in scarcity, we have that mentality of scarcity. And suddenly it was like, oh, things started to open up almost, for you to be able to make these life changes. And in my life, it was very clear. It was very clear in that year. Very extremely clear in that year that just like everything started to like change. And so that place was a blessing, because it just set me,
opened up a whole world for you. It's just there, available. You don't need to like go and research and cooking and this. Everything was just grab and go.
Through that, actually, that's when I started researching it. But it was like it gave me that space and time, to already start feeding myself in the right way, and really start detoxing and start to open up. And with other things that, again, I may not be able to share at this moment. After a few months, the lump has melted. I think that was it. And then you're realizing the real work begins. Why was it there?
Mm-hmm.
Where did it come from? Now, I put it there, right? It takes you a long time, maybe years later, to realize that you put it there, that you are the one that, and what happened?
It's what you just said right now. It's the hardest thing for anybody to acknowledge that the good and the bad,
yes,
you are responsible for that. And it's actually really, for me, it's relieving, because I know that I always have the power.
yes.
But it's like, how did I created this for myself? How did I created this bad relationship? How did I created this situation, that disease, right?
Right.
And how do I prevent for this to happen again?
Right.
It's kind of like scary, and I really understand how much power you have. You're like, oh, but I don't know, how do I even deal with that? So tell us about that.
So much power, which at that point, I did start to realize how much power I have. And I think like plant-based was really, exploring that. And I think the first book I read that really opened my eyes was Clean by Dr. Alejandro Younger, which I highly recommend for anybody who's just kind of starting the journey. Even though his clean program is not necessarily plant-based, there's an option for plant-based, but there was just facts in that book, about just really the consumption, right, of people talk about, the environment. So just the consumption of water, how it affects the air, the CO2, all of those things.
Yeah. As you said, everything is connected to everything, and everything that comes in has to come out. So it's also the food, how we were responsible. It's not just about me, but I'm part of this universe. How can I be a positive influence of that? Because if I'm good, the universe is good. If the universe is good, I'm good. It's all connected.
Yes, we are the universe. Our whole self, just even our bodies are a whole universe, right? So we're the universe within universe. And when you realize, for me, that was like the first time I felt like, wow, People say, oh, what, I'm one person. What are you going to do? Things in the world, even today, you have conversations with people and you're like, yeah, but what are you going to do? I'm just like, the being a plant-based or deciding, to kind of go on that route, which for me was like literally from one day to the next. It was like, was extremely empowering, learning and understanding the impact I have just by choosing not to eat certain foods. That's it. Like, I don't have to do anything. Like,
exactly.
I'm fine. Good. This is good. This is an amazing, powerful, tool and start that I have to understand the impact, I have as one individual, just one individual in the whole world.
Yeah.
But what happens is it opens its whole Pandora box. And just like, everything kind of really started to open the Pandora box within, also the Pandora box without is really starting to unravel itself. And you're realizing the connection of everything. And it's just like, you're like,
overwhelming. It's like a babushka, the matryoshka. It's like never ends.
And you're like, what? So you start peeling your own layers, and the world suddenly starts to unravel itself and peel off its own layers too. And you're like, wait, I want to get to the core of you. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Like other stuff that you're bombarding with me with, or the lies and all these other truths. I want the real thing.
I want to find my own truth for myself. Yep.
And really the world also is just starting to peel like an onion in front of you. And, along with your own personal truth that have started to kind of like that you build your life on, and suddenly those are taking, under your feet, and you feel like you're dropping into an endless hole.
Yeah.
So is the world around you, and you're like, what do you mean I can't trust this and I can't trust the system, or I can't, like, have we been lied to all this time? That's not possible. Who's going to do that? Why would they want to do that? Like, there's all these things that starting to happen. Right. And then you're realizing, yes, the connection, everything is connected. We cannot separate, we cannot separate anything. Anything is connected. So it's a big kind of bomb.
And it's interesting because, we just celebrated Women's Day and all these empowering quotes and all these great things, and go out there and say what, we have so much power. We don't need to go and burn our bras or do something like that to make a statement. It's about you doing your work, your inner work with yourself, if it's through food, if it's through emotional, if it's through voice, if it's through whatever, to really go to that inner truth. And just by being that, that's how you create the change around you. I mean, I noticed your family just by you doing you. You never force anything on nobody, and I know that. Just by you being you, people are drawn to that. People want part of it. So people are starting to eat better just by being around you. They feel they need to go deeper within themselves because they're with you. I mean, everybody you touch in your life, even your hairdresser, start to do holistic coloring because, all natural coloring, just because he's like, don't see me right now.
Nobody's touching my hair. I'm going to be Rapunzel.
Yeah, no, but it's amazing, like how much impact we give, but not even trying to impact, right?
Yeah.
So
if people are ready for you, and if people are, are aligned, and if they're just ready, then, and the vessel is there and they're open, it's like anything. In the beginning, it was very intense for me, right? And my kids were also, not 100% well, and they had their issues, and we had to deal with eczema and stomach aches, and with my son's, hearing that was delayed due to like 7 rounds of antibiotics in his first year of life. What did I know back then? Even though he was a home birth, I wasn't fully there, right? I didn't have, and having to change that, and suddenly really understanding, oh my God, how these things, they enter your body and what they do. It's, oh my God, I have too much information. Like, I wish I wouldn't know that, right? Then I would. I'd see him, you know, eating candy and I'd be fine, you know, but it was very intense for me in the beginning. I was intense. I was 100% intense. I did learn through my own journey to let go and, you know, just really give that energy to whomever is ready, right? Because otherwise it's just not
It's
conducive.
forcing.
It's
Yeah.
forcing. Not for
It's
me.
not gonna happen. It's only create whatever you force, it's gonna fight back. So there's no reason. You only can allow. And if
Exactly.
it's that person is ready, he's gonna be there.
Exactly. So that was, you know, so that was through the process was a big lesson. Um, you know, and also with my family, 100%. You know, I mean, the children back then were young. Now, you know, you're dealing with teenagers who have discovered the deli and discovered Twinkies, Ola, and I'm like,
Smoking, yeah, it's
and
cool.
and I have
Yeah.
another let go even more now, right? And just trust that,
Mhm.
you know, they're okay and they'll be okay. Or at least the base that they were given is, you know, strong enough to give them to just trust it's their journey. And that's what I'm realizing is here, you know, with this age and a mom to teenagers in such a crazy time to be a teenager. And I'm not talking even COVID, I'm talking internet, TikTok, so much information.
So much
Um,
stimulation everywhere, yeah.
just really trusting. But yes, to go back to what you were saying, you know, just really being yourself, it is really incredible when you're just offering that. And even as a woman, right, you know, I posted a little video on it today because you know, I did like a little meditation and I opened these cards.
It's blown my mind. When you pulled the card that about your voice, I was like, this is crazy. Because
Yeah,
we wanted to do this live today. I was like, wow, this is just meant to
yeah.
be.
It's such a powerful, you know, it's a powerful card. And it's not the first time that I'm opening the same card.
Wow.
And again, a reminder after kind of a very intense, dense week. There was just like a dense energy felt, and it was just intense. That, you know, I realized just dropping into the femininity more, dropping into the feminine more, right?
Feminine
I
meaning letting go. Feminine meaning receiving, right? For those who are listening. Yeah.
go, meaning receiving, learning to receive. Even through that time, a friend from here, we, you know, sweet, you know, we was just my dear friend, my soul sister here that I've, you know, dreamt of meeting for years, introduced us, and she said, Tamar, she's copy paste, you know, she's you copy paste, and besides,
Really?
oh my God, copy paste, you know, she does holistic retreats and really just, you know, we're very, very much aligned. And had this, you know, just intense week, and then with moving, and then the kids, you know, they had their moments, and I, you know, I literally purged at the end of the week. You know, and she reached out and she's like, why didn't you say anything? Like, why didn't you, you know, why didn't you reach out or just, you know, say anything that, you know, what's going on with you? I said, I don't know, you know, and I said that at the video today. I'm like, I'm used to alone. I'm just used to alone. And I think we all come with our sets of, you know, of lessons and traumas, whether they're already past lives or they're coming ancestral, or also already happening here and from our first traumas in childhood. And really, we get so good at protecting,
Holding, because that was the only way for us to
and that was
go through
survival.
the day, right?
That's survival mode. And now, when you're like, that's it. You know, you no longer want to survive. You want to thrive, live,
Exactly.
want to really fully embody life. And I think that takes also, you know, if we're talking even people like where we are today in the world, and that has to people will really have to start maybe developing a different relationship with death, right? Where the fear of death is not become so strong
It's
that we
everything. We're always around that, right? The fear, just
just,
fear of
just
because
fear,
death is just a change, a fear of change, a
right?
fear of moving through and understanding that life is constant change. We
Exactly.
can't avoid that. It's a river. If you're not going to be part of that stream, you're just going to be struggling, and you have to really let go and just allow and trust that things going to move you through the things you need to go through. And it's a really we did the same kind of journey with Roni with the be and will be method, which is so powerful. I mean, but let's go back to, I remember that first day when you came to me and I said to you, Tamar, you already know how to sing. I'm only here to take the layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of all the things you pretty much convinced yourself you can't, right? I remember that. And you said, no, but so tell us about, like, just like from, what do you remember when you started and when you were here? What was that thing, if other people that want to sing and they just don't know how it's even possible for them, they know that they have it in them, but they just don't know how even it's going to happen. What would you say?
Well, I would definitely say that if they cannot work with you, to definitely find somebody with a holistic approach. And
why you think so?
Because approaching even their exploration of the voice as deeper shadow, as deeper work into the self, as opposed to, vocal lessons where I need to sound or where I need to sing. Like, if I think that, you did the work with me to help me negate that, right? And kind of put that aside. But I came to the classes also, again, I was really prompted by the same angel that have really put me on this journey 10 years ago.
Wow.
And because, this is my soul family. This is somebody I'm very close to. This is somebody I trust. Then, they came to me and they said, I was almost 40. I was, how many years ago? I don't even know. How many
3 years ago. 3
years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months before I met you, because I was, a few months with a teacher prior to you. Tamar, you need to sing. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it was never something you did, right?
You
always been the dancer, the actor, you did makeup.
Yeah,
but nothing.
Writing poetry, all these things, the creative, and I love singing and I love dancing. I mean, like, a song I like, I would always sing to it, right? And I'll always move to, like, it's just like there, but never crossed my mind to ever explore it. Ever. Like, it wasn't even, I think it wasn't something I allowed myself to even think about, right?
Wow.
I kind of thought that, I have the most, annoying speaking voice. So going to singing was not even something that,
I remember you told me that you have in your head your sister yelling at you, stop, stop, speaking. It's so annoying. Or so, like, stop singing.
I had, because, this is the thing, and this is really interesting, and you told me that. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? When we started our, and you're like, you're going to do, like, your voice is healing, your voice is soothing. I see you with, like, also kind of meditation, spirit chant. I was like, what are you talking about? Let's
It was this crazy lady. Yeah.
This one was, what is it? It was like everything was another layer of exploration, and really, it's incredible what you find out about yourself. Yes, and because I can project. I can have the only voice of me that I know is that voice that needs to take command, or that needs to that needs to be heard, right? It's like it needs to, like, don't hear me quietly, or you don't, or maybe you don't even see me, so I have to, right? Or I have to protect.
Wow.
You have to protect this one who's heard, and you have to, like, you're always like that.
I remember, yes.
That is the voice of me that I know. right? So in my mind, and it can go high, like I can scream. I can scream and I can project that scream. And it's incredible how you relate to yourself. And to me, it's not even a feminine voice. There's nothing, and like really how you see yourself and how you talk to yourself. And so you start the process, the way that I started with you, and I came still, my mentor said, go sing. And I'm like, okay, I'll entertain you. Fine. I don't know. Let's see what's there. You know what? I'm curious too now.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, my belly is contracting. Like, it's like you hear yourself and you're like, oh, what is this? No, don't. Like those first voice lessons, and you're like, whoa.
Oh, Queen of the Opera says, oh yeah, I think we all have these experiences. So true. So yeah.
Yeah. And those are important to go through. And I think that, for anybody who wants to explore their voice, and it's almost, I feel that at this point, and again, I was so blessed to have the right mentorship, right? And to have you, and to really kind of come across you, to have the right person hold me in that exploration, I think was key, absolutely key. And because, again, whoever might see this, it's maybe something that they haven't thought about, right? Because they just go and try and sing. That I would say, take a pause and really approach it as deep soul work. Because what I realized, the voice is not here, it's here, right? And it was it was validated the more and more you and I work together, that, all the stress, all the blockages, all that was really the more and more blockages here. And as much work as I've been doing, that was the next level of work of starting to explore my voice. And I always tell to people, I explore the voice, not just my physical voice, but my voice again, right? And really tap into my soul's voice and what I want to say. And the more and more, and it takes time, but and again, it's key to have the right person in your corner. I think, it's just key.
I definitely think there's always somebody that kind of opened the doors for you, as always. Yeah. It's, as you said, there's always like these people and the roles in their life. And I honestly, when we start working, I was a school teacher, right? I wasn't teaching full time. So I pretty much gave myself, I understood that, you have to understand, I have a degree, I have 2 degrees in teaching. And, you learn this method and this method and this method, and you're learning all these different methods, and you have this common core, and you have all this, again, rules, and how you're supposed to structure a lesson, and all those things. And I remember with you, I literally remember that I was like, toss them all down. And I remember like exercises and things I said to you came through me, channeled through me. And I didn't understand that, but it felt really good. And I just gave that power. And that's, I think, our journey together. People think it's just teacher, student. I don't believe in that. I believe that's two souls. There's no, like, when you think about teacher, you kind of put him on a pedestal. I don't believe in that. I believe there's two just souls that, as you said, like that in and out energy, that you working with you serves such a high purpose for me as well, because it gave me that validation that I have everything I need, and I just need to be that vessel for that person in front of me for whatever they need. And I'm forever grateful for you for that, because this is why I created this method, basically through what I've been through, but also from what we've been through. And just, I'm sorry.
I said I didn't know that.
Yeah. And interesting enough that, I remember at the beginning, it's also like people, I don't understand. It's not just the singing in the studio and working through the exercises and songs and everything, But for us, what really made the I think that next step was performing in front of other people.
Oh.
And I remember that I told you right
Hey.
away, after 3 months, we did a concert in your home for your family. And I still remember like it was yesterday. It was, I think,
Wow.
one of the most amazing things I ever seen.
Oh.
But tell us about it. What did it feel like? What is it to share? How did you feel comfortable from the beginning of completely not wanting it and really rejecting it to now sitting down and conducting a whole ceremony and sound healing and using your voice as a healing tool, which is like the highest form of performing in my belief. How, can you talk about that, the transition?
God, yes, that was oof, that was stomach aches back then. I can't even. Wow, you reminded me of that. It's such a moment. I can't even believe I did it. I think like I would watch it now, and it's like I can't believe she made me do it after 3 months. Like how did that? We sang like I sang like 7 songs.
Yeah,
That
and
was
have to say, all written by you,
no,
fully written, fully composed by you.
no, no, no. The first performance was
Or
covered.
three songs you did yours.
Were covers? Did we do 3 songs or one song was mine? No, we did covers mostly.
Yeah.
I have to watch it again and remember. We
Okay.
did. It was mostly covers, and then at the end, I did the original, the one
The
in
Hebrew
Hebrew.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was. It's incredible how little people know about people, and you always, and it's interesting, now when you learn that about yourself, even how people view you and how what they think they know about you, and they don't understand. I mean, even when I was a dancer, especially when I was an actress, I mean, there's a certain stage fright that's twisting my gut, right, and so much fear. And people kind of don't see it, maybe because you seem,
Yeah. Got it all together.
right, you got it all together. And it's incredible to really kind of, and I think that, then we learned and we realized, how much that is the ego as well, right?
Oh.
That is ego that wants validation, that needs, that and it's all like, from the outside. And it's not that it's not nice to get that from the outside, and and we need it still in our human experience, but how much power do we really give it, and if we let it hold us back or not, right?
So what helped you? So if somebody's dealing with that right now, what would you say to them?
In specifically performing?
Let's say, yeah, like sharing themselves, like voice, or standing out in front of people, talking, even talking, sometimes just reading something through. It's something paralyzing, even in a job.
Oh, yeah.
You're sitting in front of all the CEOs and you forget what's your name, you can't find the words. So it's all come from the same place. So what was for you the thing that really helped? And it could be just like little things that just kind of, build up. It doesn't have to be the one magic trick.
It's cumulation of things, and it's time. But at the same time, there is, this idea that we know in the holistic and the spiritual world, and and you as a teacher have always just kind of like ingrained, because yes, I know it and I can transfer it to somebody else, but the real practice is, again, not outside, it's here, is really understanding and really fully coming to the acceptance and the realization that there's just one of you, period, the end. That's it. Not there's nobody that can be you. There's nobody that can do what you do the way that you do it. There's nobody that can transmit whatever you want to say in the way that you're going to say it. There's nobody that can do the lessons and go through, and whatever those lessons that are also impacting the universe and are impacting other people, there are your lessons, and therefore your work is so impactful, right? And I'm always saying to people, this is what I'm realizing more and more, and the more the world is going crazy, you go back home, you're going
Always.
inside. So the realization, I think what helped me with the live performances, and then I went to Israel and I did my first open mic. And
Yeah.
was really, you saying all the time. And again, I could understand it, but, in my life, I would still not embody it. That, this is not about you so much. You're just here to share your gift. You're here to share your voice, and really understanding in life, no, not everybody, never almost in a situation will everybody accept, like, want, or care for what you want to say, or care for your craft. It's just not going to happen, right? But through the practice, you find, and the people that do want or do need what you have to share will just show up, right? And you kind of,
Yes.
and everything else dwindles down, kind of just falls out and falls out and falls out, the more secure and the more confident you become. So really going up there, every time I would practice it more and more of just, don't think about how you sound. Don't think, just the self-consciousness,
Yes.
Okay, and it's good to be self-conscious, but not to the point of sabotage.
Yes.
So, really just to use this voice, use the voice of your heart, of your gut, whether, yes, you're singing, whether you're speaking, whether it's an expression without voice, like moving or dancing.
I'm just going to add to that. First of all, the reason why I started kind of, I don't want to say pushing, but encourage you to go perform, because this is the best thing to learn by just doing. And by just doing it, the fear, and also doing it in different settings, right? Through specifically to your parents, not parents, but like family members, and then friends, and then complete strangers, and then even in the streets, I even sing in the streets till this day, because we don't sing just to sing for ourselves. We're here to share our voices, right?
Yeah.
As we said, it's all that circular energy. What comes out will always come back to you in some form of capacity. So when I understood, also for me, my mom took me to choir because I was so shy. I was a ola chadasha, how we say it in Hebrew. I was, just came from Belarus by myself. I was just in this completely new environment. I felt completely outsider, like, that's whole environment. So I I was afraid to speak because I knew people were gonna laugh about how I say it, my accent or this. So I was ready to just be quiet. And that's something that music really helped me to express myself and allow myself to just explore my voice. Um, but it's interesting. I just did America's Got Talent last year, and oh boy, I was nervous too. And that's the message that I'm trying to convey. You're never gonna get rid of that nagging voice. It's always gonna be there. But then you learn with the years to take a step back and push it away and give the full focus of why you're really doing this, which is, again, it's that alignment. It's, again, that understanding that you are the messenger, that you are giving this beautiful tool to share with the world, and it's not about you. So take yourself out of the way, focus on what you wanted to deliver, what you wanted to say. And that's something that go real. It's so important because it's the message.
Absolutely big on that. You're huge.
Absolutely. Always don't, go
key.
there. Why are you singing this? What's the story here? And when you have that focus, when you're really in there, you're just there. And it's a magical place to be. And then you just fly and people will watch you and they're like, even if they don't understand it, they feel drawn to your energy because, again, it's energy and you're the conductor of the energy, right? You really set the mood and tone for that room. And it's amazing. Amazing. I don't know any better feeling than that, right?
It is amazing when you're really kind of sharing and letting yourself really just be in that space, and people receiving that is powerful. I think it's powerful, and it really kind of, you know, for me, it's kind of like, that was, you know, these moments are kind of what gets you going and going deeper and exploring more and deciding to do this and deciding to continue and deciding to really go deeper with the work and go deeper with that exploration. That's, yeah. And you know, because again, you know, just like you said, you know, yeah, developing, you know, a new practice for you as well through teaching somebody. It's, you know, it's a give and take. It's kind of like this, it's an energy exchange, right? And that's
Yes.
you, because you see somebody growing and you see someone, oh, okay, so that's working. And, you know, and this suggestion has helped this person, right? And that fuels you with more energy to kind of, okay, I'm on the right
Even
path.
for myself, right?
Yeah.
As I'm sure you are right now, you in the position where you are the teacher,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how much you see a lot of yourself in those people. And that's
One.
always that constant reminder. It's, we all need that. And again, it's as well, we're never going to stop growing. We're never, and that's a beautiful thing. And we always die and we burn again, and we always in that phases. But whenever we surrender again, trust, and really go to the core of what's really important, you're never gonna lose, you know. People are writing, exactly, it's all about energy. So I love it.
And also really realizing, you know, when you're saying that, realizing that the human experience is similar to everybody. It's
Yeah.
all different shape and form in a way, but we're all struggling with it. Like, we're all in that space, we're all in that journey, and it's just, it takes different forms. But, and I think really understanding, so yes, when you said, sure, you know, when you are, you know, when you're offering the space to somebody, and when you're giving, you know, when you're kind of practicing the energy and you're just really trying to hold space for somebody in that way, and they're sharing their, you know, they're sharing their pain with you, or they're, and you're like, wow, you know, almost all the time I can relay. I understand. I understand.
Yes.
I understand where you're coming from. And it goes down, I think, common thread of all of this goes down really to how, you know, in this society, we have just been designed to be disconnected from our core, because people who are connected, people who are sovereign in their heart, in their minds, people who are free, those are the free people, they can't be controlled.
No.
And so we're all holding them, we're all working through that, and, you know, some more than others.
Very fearful, because again, we're now we're living this, right? We're living this
We're
in those
living the,
two just separate words, where you're trying to not live in fear, and you know, find your compass, find your core, as you said. And now I have all, it's very, very
yeah.
challenging, but just, you know, you're not alone.
Absolutely
We
not.
all need healing, and teachers also need healings, and we all in this, as you said, in this human experience. And I want to go now to, you know, through all this journey right now, you find yourself to be not just a beautiful singer and a creator and songwriter and all the things you're amazingly doing, but I think you find your calling, if I may say. Of course, you can say whatever you feel that's the right terms to say it, but the healing through your voice. Can you talk about what exactly you do right now, um, and how people can like get more of that? Because I have to tell you, before you're gonna say anything, I attended 4 of your healing meditations. And I remember the first one just was the bowls, and then when the meditation and the essential oils and the touch, and it was incredible, incredible, incredible. And I remember I told you, I need your singing. Oh, we're losing her. No! Tamar, we're losing you. But I'm just gonna keep talking. And I was told her, I need more of your singing. And she sang a little bit in the end, and I remember that was my favorite part. And because I know her voice, I'm her teacher, I know her. So I remember I told her, you have to sing more. And then we did another session. She did another session. I came to that session, and she sang more. And it's just beautiful to see how people also reacted to that so powerfully. So it was just my favorite part of that. And not, if you do sound meditation, you know that there's not a lot of voice involved. Usually you use some sort of like a gong or sound bowls or like chimes or whatever instrument, right? Using instruments. And but I always tell her, what's going to set you apart, not only set you apart, but what's really going to make the most impact on your people that are going to be in that ceremony is your voice. Because there's no instrument like your voice. There's no frequency like your voice. Here she is back with us. And she's back. Third time is a charm. But I was just saying to everybody how your voice was my favorite part of the ceremonies. And
you.
I mean, I can't even tell you. But yeah, go ahead. Tell us what exactly you do and how people can get more of that.
So I'm really, finding my way within this world, within this practice. And it's beautiful. We're in Costa Rica right now. And when we came after we're here for 2 months. And after in the first month, I'm actually here. I'm talking from Vista del Alma. I'm in one of the rooms at Vista del Alma, which is just the most incredible hotel.
I'm not jealous at all. I'm just going to put it out there.
Here he comes. This is where you're going to be.
I know. Tamar's like, you're going to be there, and that's it.
Yeah, it's my friend's hotel, and it's just, incredible space. And so we did, this beautiful open vista here, and we held a sound meditation for 13 people. And again, the common thread was the voice, the touch, that's when I realized more and more, okay, I like this, I want it smaller. It needs to be smaller. I don't want to spread myself into too many people. So, we're here now kind of in transition again because we have construction in the house, and then we're in, we're out. But I have all my instruments, and I have more and more confidence within my voice. And I think that is the biggest gift because practicing, the more I practice, and unfortunately then in New York, I didn't get to practice a lot once COVID hit. And, I was scheduled to really start working at this beautiful yoga studio, and then they've closed everything, all their locations. Wow. Really, it was just such a, okay, I'm trusting this more, right? I'm trusting this more. So really, I'm holding sound experiences, and they're really full for me as opposed to, I find that really it's, I give as much as I can through these experiences, really being very careful to, to give the clearest space for people to go through their own space and journey, with emphasis on, you are your own healer, right?
Yes.
This is about you, and I'm just facilitating a certain space. I'm facilitating a certain environment.
Yeah.
I'm holding you a certain way perhaps, but this is really all for you to go back inside, to go back home to your own power, to your own healing power. And that's what we need to all understand, is that we are our own healers, our own queens and kings and rabbis and priests. And it's not out there. We were taught everything is outside of us.
Right.
All the power we gave out to everybody else, and to everything. We just gave our power away. So I feel that through this practice, obviously this is the practice that is just as much as for me as, when I facilitate, because again, I think only through your own experiences when you are really able to give that to people. And that's why it was, very important for me and I guess that is also like the harsh mind on myself throughout the years. And I know that I could have got onto the world and do things, or, years ago, people would tell me, oh, and then, and you should be doing this, and you should be teaching this, and I'm just like, wait, but so much to go through still with myself. I felt I still have, and every time I tried, it's kind of like there was a feeling of failure, like, oh, everybody's doing, and you're not doing, but you're doing a certain work that nobody else sees.
I have to say something about that. Absolutely. I mean, that's was something that, again, the external world, especially now with the social media, and you see people post 500 videos a day, and they're doing crazy things, and you kind of start comparing yourself to anything out there vocally too. It's so easy. But again, there's no one way fits all. Everybody has their own journey. The thing is not the end result. It's not the 10,000 subscribers or the, I don't know, anything external like that. It's the journey. Right. It's the journey of who you're becoming through that. So understand that you have to listen to your inner guide, your intuition, your feelings. Your feelings always going to tell you, okay, this feels good. This doesn't feel good. Although this Instagram, influencer said this is the way for you to get clients. No, for you to get clients is by you being aligned. Your job is to be aligned, and God, universe, whatever you want to call it, always going to bring you whatever you need. You don't need to struggle through it. And I remember we had this conversation also, like, because first of all, everybody has to go to her profile and go to her link and press the link in that bio section, because you're going to see the most beautiful website you ever seen in your life. And she put her heart and soul there. And I'm going to tell you what she's offering, because if you are right now in a point where you feel you have to change something about your life, you feel stuck. If it's your food, which is a big thing, because we are what we eat. Absolutely. This is so important to go ahead and really look what's going inside your body. That's number one. Second, so she's a health coach. So if you need somebody that's really gonna have it easy, not like complex, no, easy things you can incorporate in your life to get the vitamins, the minerals, the fuel you need to start seeing the life in a different way, you have to go through this with her. Second of all, she's doing a virtual Reiki and also sound meditation where you can really get this, even the beauty of frequencies. You don't have to be in the same room. Energy can travel through spaces, time, and when you just being in her energy and whatever she's delivering is something you just have to go through. So if you have an anniversary coming up, or something special you want to give to your loved ones, or especially for you, if you feel you need that something one-on-one that really is going to fuel you up and clear you from all that negativity, you have to contact her. Yeah. I just have to say it because, I mean, I'm just so proud of you for everything you are and your vulnerability, and the more you're exposing, and I mean, I just wish you'd see yourself the way I see you, how powerful and amazing you are. And I want people to run to get everything you're offering, because this is just a gift. It really is. And Jason came to say hi. Jason, we love you. We're such a groupies of yours.
Jason is doing amazing work.
Are you kidding me? Jason is I mean, I met Jason in upstate in the Firebone, singing different songs. And
that was the best day. That was the best day.
Was it, right?
It was the best day.
It was just like magical, and just seeing him leading this wave of again, as we talked about, the grounding, that core, that truth. It's just amazing. Jason, we love you. Thank you.
we'll talk. He can come on. I just need to put a shirt on. I'm in Costa Rica. You can also go shirtless. Come on, baby.
Come on, baby. I love this.
Yes.
One moment. Oh my God, I love this. So yeah, so how people can contact you to start working with you?
tamarslpl.com or through Instagram. So
Can you write it in the comments so people can
Sure.
Awesome. So Jason, just request to join.
Mars.
Can I have him?
No, that's not it.
You know what it is, Jason? It's like in your last live you had, and you need to upgrade the new Instagram. And it's like this new feature they're doing for up to 4 people. It doesn't let you. Oh! Unbelievable. Exactly. It's not updated. That's why it's not working. Ooh. But definitely, you know, we can do this again.
You can only do live with 2 people?
Right now, yes, because apparently my is not updated. My app is not updated.
Aw. Oh, we can. Yeah, I don't know if we can do it through him. Yeah. Yes. Let's do another time.
Absolutely, Jason. We need a special life for you. For you know, we need like a whole spotlight. But we love you.
And we'll do another time, and we can do it through you, Jason, because if he's updated, then I guess, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You'll figure it. We'll figure out.
I'll update it. We'll all update it, and we'll make it happen. Awesome. So thank you, Tamar, for being part of this conversation. I hope people that seeing that however dark it may feel, and you feel alone, you feel disconnected, and you feel all those things you feel, you know, you're not alone. You're truly not alone. And there's always a light. So let us know even if you're watching the replay. I'm gonna obviously save it. If you're watching the replay, if you have questions, comments, please leave them, and we'll always come back to you. Maybe we're gonna do this again. I kind of like this conversations with Tamar and Natalia.
Talk to you for hours. There's
Me too.
So much. You can't. It's just so much. Life is so much.
Yeah.
So deep.
Yeah.
It's so. We'll meet on the web again.
Yes.
With all people. We love you too, Jason.
I mean,
so much. Miss you. I missed you, beautiful.
I miss you, honestly. I just saw the story with you with the dog coming back. I'm like, oh, so cute.
So cute.
Romeo is back.
Romeo is here. Yes, it's
so exciting.
Yeah.
Amazing, love. So have a great night, everybody, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
I love you.
Bye.